I go back to see them often, and that's really what transpired this whole thing. It's been something that part of like my healing process from losing my dad and my brother, a couple years back. So this is kind of like a process for me to keep going through that healing process, but really keeping their memory alive.
Edward Anthony Ballesteros Travins.
And so what happened to your dad's friend of my house?
He got shot, and during the when the LA riots were kind of going on, even though they weren't over here, um, but he got shot on Laurel Canyon. Somebody came up to his car and asked him where he was from, and someone shot him in the front seat of his car. He was only like 15 years old, dude. 16 years old. I'm sure he would love the opportunity to be here and to do good things and to be impactful. And, he probably would have loved to be a father like me. And, so those things just, it makes me like keep that memory alive, So to keep going and to make people like them proud. And to do the best that I could do. So that's what it is.
I think a lot of people do things in memory of their loved ones, and then that's what it is, and then it's kind of gone after that. So by me visiting them, by me doing the piece that I did, that is a constant reminder I see every day. My tattoo artist, Steven Delgado, probably the only person that I would have went to. Me and Steve have been working together for about 23 years. He's done the majority of all my work. He really takes his tattoo seriously. He takes art seriously, and he's a stand-up guy. He's a solid guy. Las Palmas Park in San Fernando is where, a lot of us used to go hang out. Back in the days, it wasn't the best place if you weren't familiar with the area, but, we would be there. Years down the road, I ended up working for the city and being there. Also, too, that's where I met the mother of my child. My timeline and my stream of life that had put me at that place, allowed me to meet her, and I was blessed with my amazing daughter, who I'm so very proud of. My dad, not a unique individual, but a very many faces, from a loving father to a raging, violent individual, to an addict, to a hardworking man, to all these different faces I've seen of a man. Unfortunately, we were both incarcerated at the same time on two different things. That's where I really learned to become my own man and learn to forgive. So when I came home, me and my father made amends. I hadn't talked to my dad in probably years, man, 10 years or more. I'd see him and it was just like a hey, and that was it. There was no relationship there. But then once I went away and I had time to think about my life in the future and what kind of man I wanted to be when I got home, I wanted my dad to be a part of my life and my daughter's life. So it was time to make amends. Time to let the past sit in the past and move forward to and try to make a good future and a good, life together. And then about a little over a year, when we both were home, he unfortunately passed away from a heart attack.
This is where everyone used to post up. All the dudes from the neighborhood, all the little young dudes who wanted to be from the neighborhood would post up out here like little soldiers, toy soldiers. And when people would walk through, or the guys that had cars would drive by, they throw up their sets or say where they're from, and there would just be fights. People would just start fighting it out right here, you know? This was our Thunderdome. So
when you live in those lifestyles, right? When you live, what I'm referring to is being involved with certain things, right? Whether it's gangs or the street life or hustling or drugs, right? Like there's elements that come with that, you know? Well, for all of us that were either trying to be from the neighborhood or hanging out with the homies, that's where everybody went to go hang out. That's why that talk about is important. And then also too, as you saw, that is unfortunately where Ricky was killed. We were walking to Taco Bell one day. Some people from another side of town came and unfortunately shot him while we were walking. Again, kind of going back to like, I still have opportunity to do good things in this life with my life. So he wasn't, unfortunately, you know, so I cannot take it for granted to just piss away or just fuck off days and do this or that. I gotta live each day with intention and try to be impactful with anything I do and the people I come across. My little cousin Tori, he was only a baby when he passed. So that's something that's always kind of stuck with me, you know? I try to think of like, what would life be if he was still here? And what kind of man would he be? What kind of friendship would we have? What kind of cousins would we be? You know, would he be more like me or more like my other cousins, you know? So that is his memory, something I really cherish and hold really close to my heart.
this is where I was born. And then also it's important because this is where my father passed away. I was born here with him, right? He brought me into the world, and then I was here with him when he left the world. So every time I pass by it, you know, I just remember my dad. I remember being here.
I still remember, you know, where I was at, what I was doing. It was in the middle of the night. I got the phone call, and it was my stepmom saying, "Your dad passed away." I went to Holy Cross and met the chaplain there. He took me into the room where my dad was at and said my goodbyes to him. You know, he was already gone, but, you know, it was my opportunity to just tell him how much I loved him and, you know, how much he meant to me. Maybe like another year and a half after that is when I lost my little brother. He was dealing with a lot of silent pain. He fought for as long as he could to try to cope and deal with it, and it got to a point that he just couldn't bear it no more. And unfortunately, he ended up taking his own life. You know, a lot of people do put things on their heart, right? Because that's where they say their loved ones are at, but my belly is where I get my fuel from. You know, that's where my pain resides. That's where my anger resides. So I use them and their memory to still keep that pain somewhat alive. I've never let that pain go. That pain has been with me, not only with my cousin, but my father and my brother. I think of them every day, right? I work out in the mornings and I think of their memory, and you know, there's times I'm crying at the gym, man. Literally, I'm crying at the gym, but it's because I'm still living in those emotions, and that's what keeps me connected to them. Growing up, I had a lot of anger and resentment towards my father for many different reasons. And I always said, you know, I wanted to be different than him. I wanted to be, you know, my own kind of person, you know, steer as further away as I can from him, which is why we didn't talk for so long. But it's so crazy because, like, I'm so much like him. one thing I want to say to him is that I may have not heard it at that time, but you know, those lessons still stuck. There's times where I recall on the memory now and I remember the lesson and I try to apply it to my life now. So those things that he was trying to teach me at that time, maybe I didn't get the lesson then, but I just want to know, just tell your dad, I got it now. I got it.